Pigs don't fly, but this 19th century steam locomotive did, when it arrived at its new home in the Lumsden Railway Precinct on Tuesday the 15th of April 2025. The 1880 D-class locomotive D6 was swung into its new home by crane through the roof of the shed that houses the township's unique collection of pre-1900s rolling stock. The installation completed an ambitious and highly successful project that started in 2013, carried out by the Lumsden Heritage Trust. Trust Chair John Titter said the mission was fantastic. D6 had been refurbished in Winton by Bullied Engineering over the past 3 years, after it was gifted to the Lumsden Trust by the Otago Railway and Locomotive Society in 2021. It had been in storage at the Ocean Beach Railway in Dunedin since 1965. D6 now sits at the head of Lumsden's historic collection, which consists of carriages dating from 1877, 1883 and 1896. It is a long way from its city of origin, Glasgow, Scotland, where it was built in the Neilson & Co yards. The relocation from Winton involved a big team effort by Bullied Engineering, Smith Crane and Construction, Southland Machine Hire and John Titter's son James Titter, starting around 7:30 in the morning. To place D6 at the head of the static train display in Lumsden, the locomotive sitting in its position, a 1948 04 type diesel engine, had to be lifted out by crane and repositioned in the precinct. The most practical way to do this was to remove part of the roof housing the train, which was carried out in a day by Ryan McMaster. D6 was in service with New Zealand Railways until 1917, running for much of its time on Southland tracks. After going into private service for another 48 years, it was acquired in 1965 by Ocean Beach Railway, a working heritage railway museum operating in Dunedin. The Heritage Train project was funded by Lotteries Environment and Heritage, Community Trust South, Southland District Council's District Initiative Fund and Northern Southland Development Fund and Rail Heritage Trust of New Zealand.
We started this project back in 2021. That included the C car down the end, C100, which we've covered, and also D6 here, which came from Ocean Beach Railway. It's an 1880 steam locomotive built in the Neilson yards in Glasgow and imported into New Zealand. It was gifted to us by Ocean Beach Railway in Dunedin. After some discussions and options, we came to the point that they gave it to us as a gift, which was fantastic, which enabled us to go to lotteries and district council and CETOS for funding to get it restored for static display. So with that in hand, we had Bullied Engineering down in Winton, who Kerry and Brad there have and Mark have done a fantastic job in bringing D6 up to a very, very good standard for a static display. And it does complete the heritage train at the Lumsden station, which was the project that we sought funding for with lotteries. So it completes a display of a train that is all pre-1900, which offers us a glimpse into passenger carriage engineering and design from 1870s through to the 1900s, including D6 here, which we've moved today, which was also historically important, that apparently D6 was used as a patent up in the Scott Brothers engineering firm in Christchurch, who were one of the first firms, or was the first firm, to build a New Zealand industrial loco. They actually built 10 of their own, but this, from my understanding, was the locomotive that was based in Gore that went up to Scott Brothers and was used as the patent. So historically it's got its own place and part of history and heritage in New Zealand rail as well.
All right, and how long have the boys at Bullard been working on it?
We got this locomotive out of Ocean Beach in 2022, and it went to the yards down there at Bulleeds, and they've been working on it ever since. Finished it last week. So I think Mark will be relieved to see it out of his yard, but I think Kerry's going to miss his pet project, and Brad. So yeah, they've done a fantastic job, and it was, there was a lot of rust and what have you in the frame. They built themselves or the cab. They've made the window surrounds, the water tanks. They rebuilt those. They've redone the cowling on the boiler and put some trim on there. And some of the really blingy bits that I didn't know they were going to do, but they did for me, was they took off the acorn on the front and the shims down on the drive rods and bolts and a few of the fittings, and they actually took them off and cleaned them up and put them back on. So I went down there one day and they'd done that. I was absolutely stoked, and it just sets off the loco. And I think the number plate that we got done up in Christchurch through a foundry up there and was polished up and painted by locals. We had the body shop in Riversdale, which is a Dwayne Stevens down there. He painted that up last week for me, and I was in a bit of a panic. I hadn't quite got it done, and overnight he stripped that down, shined it up and painted it, and I think that just sets off the loco really well.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Tell us about the other logistic problem you had, which was getting it actually into the shed.
Yes, that was a bit of a quid pro quo of what we do, and it was either drag the loco out and that was here, and roll the other one back in, but it came down to we'd have to drag it out and get another piece of railway track. The Tuffley's low loader only just fitted in there. We didn't know if that would work, so we'd also need a crane still to lift the locomotive across to the TR, the diesel loco, across to the other side of the yard, and then still get this one in here. So we came up with the idea of taking out the roof and pulling out the TR through the top and dropping the D in. I had a few sleepless nights over that whole project, but as it's turned out, it worked really, really well today. Smith Cranes, Southern Machine Hire Services, the guys from Bulleed, my son's come in and done a job with the telehandler, even yourself, Chris, covering the media. Couldn't have gone better. And the wind was meant to pick up today, and it hasn't. So and we had a good crowd looking on, which was good. And McMaster Builders, Ryan McMaster, he took the roof off us. I thought it would take a few days. He did it in a day, and he'll be coming to put that back on, and they'll complete the display. So then we do our final account to lotteries, and we've finished this project, which is
that's the end of this project.
This project is done. Yes.
Yeah. How do you feel?
Oh, fantastic! Yeah. The idea of the heritage train, Clark McCarthy, he's full of good information and knowledge. He was the one that pointed out to me that the carriages were actually in sequence to how they were built and introduced and ran on New Zealand line, and all subsequently served at the Waireo on the Ojai Railway Board line, bar the loco.
That's a lot of coincidences.
That is a lot of coincidences. And as a heritage train, there probably hasn't been one at the railway station as a guess for around 90 years, all pre-1900. So I'm pretty chuffed about that. It makes a wonderful display, and we get a lot of interest and a lot of people interested in it. And I think Ocean Beach are going to be pretty happy with what we've done with the locomotive, and it sits there as a static display for everybody to enjoy. So yeah, very, very happy.